All right, working class beer reviews is looking at Founders KBS, a flavored stout. Now, Caleb, Jeep and Foodie, is this really working class? It's awfully expensive. Yes, it is, and yes, it is. So, because my friend Jordan gave me this, along with some other beers I reviewed, and I've got he really loaded me up when I left Joplin. Somewhere around the beginning of the year, and or it could have been the end of the last year, one of the two. So he had this in his beer fridge, and I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I've never had any KBS beers, and I know they're highly regarded and sought after, kind of the way the bourbon counting is for Goose Island. So I get to look at that. This is from 2019, so this is like 5 years old. It actually says on here, bottled on 2/28/19. 12.2% alcohol. Let's go ahead. I got a brandy snifter here. I feel like that's the only way to have this. Oh my goodness, this looks thick. So yes, 5 years is probably the maximum most people sell our stuff. And I didn't even plan on it being like this. He just gave it to me. I figured just maybe a year or two old. 5 years. So he's had this for quite a while. Jordan, I hope you're watching this. So Founders, the amazing Cosmickies. Barrel-aged, highly acclaimed KBS, a flavored stout, is good for everything a flavored stout ought to be good for. Ale brewed with chocolate and coffee, aged in oak bourbon barrels. On the back of the label it says, what we've got here is an imperial stout brewed with a massive amount of coffee and chocolates, then cave-aged in oak bourbon barrels for an entire year to make sure this wonderful bourbon undertones come through in the finish. Makes your taste buds squeal with delight. So it kind of looks like an old West looking poster. As far as the internet is concerned, obviously with this being that they've already made more, so if you go to the website, it's going to be the newest one they have. So I went to Untapped, and it says pretty much the same thing it did on the back of the label. 12.2%, 70 IBU. Now on Untapped, it gets a 4.33 out of 5. So that's, I think for Untapped, that's really good because some of their beers aren't real highly rated. And there's, the reviews on this. Yeah, someone else did one a few days ago. It says, still too old, but I always love it. Yeah. So with it being this strong, it doesn't give really anything about hops, malts, or anything like that. Coffee and chocolate aged in bourbon barrels is what you get. So let's see if I can get a swishing pour, get a little bit out of there. So that's the label. What do we got? I'm inside today. It's still a little damp out, but you can't. It's so dark you can't see through this. You can't see through it. How can you see through this? It's got so much chocolate and coffee in it. And the head, with strong beers, they typically don't develop a whole lot of head, especially if they've been aged. So so it's 6 years since it was brewed initially. Isn't that crazy? That's wild. So this is quite a treat for me. I normally don't buy this. I want to say the 4-pack of these is like $15, maybe close to 20, depending on where you buy it from. I don't typically buy beers like that. Maybe once in a great while if I know someone wants to try something like that. Sometimes we even go on halvesies on something like that. So you got some clinging to the sides, some lacing. So obviously you can't see through it. It's super dark, super rich looking. And let's give it a smell. Definitely chocolate. Sweet chocolate, like milk chocolate almost. Maybe dark chocolate. Yeah, maybe, okay, I smell dark chocolate. So if there's bitterness from hops, 70 IBUs, that's probably diminished in flavor over the years. So it's just going to get the more intense maltiness. The hops have done their job, but that's probably why I get the dark chocolate, because dark chocolate's a little bitter. That's mainly what I smell. I don't smell coffee. Let's see about the taste. That's intense. That is so good though, man. Yeah, definitely more chocolate than anything. And the coffee, kinda. You get that kind of a little bit of just a touch of it, like the astringency of a dark coffee, like without any cream or sugar. So if you drink black coffee, been watching too many memes on the internet where they talk about coffee, like you're up in Boston. KBS as a company, I don't know where they're. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yeah, I thought it was from Michigan. So, yeah, I just did Bell's, and it's from Michigan as well. So, obviously, some good craft brews up there. Yeah, Founders, I have tried the ODB, the Old Dirty Bastard, and the Breakfast Stout I've had. Those are delicious. I think Founders is one of those that you can't really go wrong. I know they had they were into the session IPAs. They had like the all day IPA, and session IPAs are just like low ABV IPAs, so just less caloric. This is definitely going to be calorically dense. I'm guessing it's probably over 200 calories for this glass. I'm honestly surprised they don't come in like pints or 500 milliliters or something like that. I would think that would be more fitting, especially for the price. To get 12 ounces at that price, man, it sounds like a good profit margin they're making. I don't know though. Who am I? There's just a touch of like alcohol burn, kind of like a booziness, but not really that strong. And like I said, these things may have been a lot more pronounced when it was fresh. So I have no idea. It is good, and it's heavy. It's a heavy mouthfeel. It's not like thick like you would think it would be, but it is rich. It's dense. It does. It tastes like I'm eating a Hershey's Special Dark. You know, like when you get the little Hershey's Minis, and there's always like the dark, Special Dark. That's kind of what it tastes like to me. So definitely, yeah, more of a dark chocolate. I know I said milk chocolate at first because it's kind of had a bit of that sweet chocolate flavor. Probably more of like a sweet dark chocolate. Not like the Ghirardelli or whatever that brand is with the more fancier chocolatiers that you get. Yeah, I'm thinking more of like a Hershey's dark chocolate. But yeah, it's good. Obviously, most people that have this, they seek it out and they get it and they hold on. They either drink it right away or they hold on to it like these were. I can't believe this is 5 years old. And did the quality degrade? No. And could it have gone longer? Possibly, in the right conditions. I think if you're going to cellar a beer, you need to wrap it in like a paper bag and maybe even double bag it just to keep the light away from it. And then store it somewhere cool and dark just to keep the light away from it and don't want it to get warm. I mean, yeah, obviously this isn't a beer fridge. So it's dark in there and it's cool. So that might be the way to go. But if you're not going to keep it in the fridge, definitely wrap it up in something to protect it from the light. And yeah, there's lots of different, obviously people do that with the Goose Island. Fuller's, the English Strong Ale. I'm sure any sort of barley wine. The Sierra Nevada has that Norwal. I think that's kind of a really into Bigfoot barley wine. I've never actually had the Bigfoot. I've never had the Norwal. We don't see that stuff in my area. Sierra Nevada doesn't have as much of a presence as they used to. I used to be able to get their variety packs. Ruthless Rye IPA used to be one of my favorites. KBS, where the discount liquors, I bet they have some Founders there. I'd have to look. I'm sure the Breakfast Stout, that's pretty common. It's like an oatmeal stout. I think that's why they call it Breakfast Stout. Yeah, this is definitely just like a once in a great while type thing. You wouldn't want to have this on a regular basis. It's so rich. It's so, if you drank this a lot, you'd start packing on some pounds. Yeah. I said I would only buy this personally, probably not even for myself. It'd have to be for like a group setting where you can kind of pass it around. You know, we're in late spring, heading into summer. Not really the season for this, but it's been sitting in my fridge for a few months. I'm like, you know what, I got to get to this at some point. And I've been curious myself, and it is everything I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I thought it was going to have a little more booziness to it, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But like I said, that age may have matured it and allowed it to really, I don't know, just to settle and mellow out a little bit. So any of the stronger, not even harsh, but the stronger qualities that it once had when it was fresh has kind of subsided over time. And I think that's kind of the purpose of mellowing, especially when it comes to these barrel-aged beers like this and ales, is when you age them and the longer you let them sit, the more they just kind of mellow out and just kind of like a stew. You know, when you cook a stew, everything's just kind of, the flavor's not up here or down here. It's all like, meet in the middle. That's a Jamie Oliver reference. If anybody likes Jamie Oliver. I really like Jamie Oliver. He's super cool. I relied upon him to learn how to cook in the years past, and he'll probably never see this video, but man alive, I would love to meet him and have a beer with him. That'd be cool. So anyway, yeah, KBS by Founders, 2019, delicious, wonderful, nothing but good things, and I wouldn't think that anybody would expect anything else from it. If you've tried KBS over the years, even if it wasn't 2019, if you tried previous, if you tried just a few years ago, or even the most recent one, let me know. I don't know if they change every year or if it's the same thing. Something tells me each year they might tweak it and add something a little different. So I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of experience with this. So someone, if you could educate me or anybody else that's watching, put it in the comments. Let me know. Definitely, I guess you could say it's working class. It's a treat, but not a working class as in every day. Working class wouldn't buy this every day. It's just, for one, it's just too expensive. But I've always said since the beginning of my channel, it's okay to treat yourself and splurge once in a while. So I've got a couple of IPAs, I think, left in the fridge from that batch that Jordan gave me. And I'll get to those soon enough, and I get those posted. Then I'm going to have to start restocking and go through my catalog and fill in some gaps, especially when it comes to American beers. I'm sure there's some stuff that I'm missing out on that I could pick up. I know it feels like I'm getting thin, but there's always something I haven't discovered. But anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. And I appreciate you sharing your time with me. And I will see you guys later.